Alright, sorry about that. I just had to boop out for a minute or two. You know, coffee breaks. They're important. Alright, so back to this. So, we want to figure out a couple little things here. So I guess because I already have this section, or this piece cut, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it with the seat tube, and I'm going to cut the seat tube with our top section here as well. So that will just get it all cleared up right then and there. This piece doesn't exist anymore. So we'll just go that way. I'm going to open up Grasshopper again, just because I want this bottom tube to be preserved. Where is that? Bottom tube lower? No, that's the top tube lower. You need the bottom tube lower. Come on. There you go. This piece. And again, we'll Boolean split that like this. So we have, hey, we'll split it with this. Why did that fail? I can do alright, well, let's subtract it with that. So I need to open up Grasshopper again. Bake that. Go and split. Like this. That work? No. Weird. Why isn't that splitting now? Alright, so let's leave that. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. We don't want to worry about that. What else can we not worry about? That. That is what the frame is looking like so far, actually. Don't need to worry about that. That doesn't exist right now. It's looking even more like what's actually on the ground over there. Okay. So far, it doesn't look too bad. It's an interesting geometry, I'll say that. And we're definitely going to have to use a solid fork. No suspension for the front for this little guy. But that's cool. This is just one of those first ones. So this will be a rigid front fork. And then we're going to end up cutting it out with that. So let's do that first. And then that way we just have to cut off this little corner, really, to get that piece to fit in. And yeah, let's do that first. So first things first, we're going to split that with that. So Boolean split. We'll split that with top section here. So that's what we're really worried about. So thankfully that's full intersection right there. So either I can keep the seat tube as it is and we can cut straight through there. That's an interesting way of doing it. Yeah, let's just do that. And then we can sculpt into this section. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to undo that. Now we want to cut that off. Or do we? Let's see here. Let's see. I think it's going to look cleaner if we draw the tube straight into that. So we're going to undo. What did I just undo? Deleting. I have no idea. Guess I'll figure that out. But we're going to cut this sucker. So we'll do Boolean split. We'll split this with that. It's going to give a nice clean notch cut. And that's where we'll butt in our seat tube. Okay. So I will do that. I'm just going to pull this up for a minute. So let's just do this some arbitrary amount. We'll go up, let's say 50. Let's try not to forget that. It's going to be way up in the air here. And then what we'll do is we'll draw some lines. Go boop, boop, go. Alright, so first one we're going to measure is this curve. So I'm going to isolate our piece here. So that's going to be our top tube lower. And we're supposed to go in 1.43 inches. I wish this was in tens. I'm pretty sure I've screwed up multiple times now because I'm using, hundredths. It is really, really annoying. And I really do want things to line up. There's got to be some way. Yeah, this is one of those reasons why I use millimeters, not inches. Don't be like David. And then we'll hover over here, measure down 0.43. Actually, I think I do have a ruler that measures in hundredths. There we go. Found it. That wasn't so hard. And then we'll create a line. Let's just use this arbitrary point because we already screwed it up. 0.23. Then 1.5, thankfully, down to that. So I'm probably going to have to redo at least a good amount of this because of that stupid hundredths thing. I feel like there's got to be a way for me to switch that system, but cool thing here is that I can actually check if this is correct by just measuring that. So 1.46, and that is super wrong. So there we go. I already measured this really incorrectly. So let's try that again. So this is 1.43. That's where I went wrong. And then it goes down 0.43. There. And then it continues 0.23. Carry that all the way to the bottom. That looks much better. That's the cut we want. So I think I'm going to be making that metric system way sooner than I thought because I really fucking hate converting imperial units, and that probably just wasted a good amount of time. Thankfully foam is cheap. So anyway, you can't see it probably, but that's what our new foam cuts look like. So I'm just going to cut that notch out. It'll be easier to see. So a notch should match that notch, which it does. We'll put that piece back in. So that looks pretty good on the ground. Again, you can check it out. So hopefully that's visible. Again, I guess I'll just have to check it out whenever I look at the recording later. Alright, so let's just shift that back down negative before we forget. Subtract that piece out. Now we have that guy. So yeah, we'll have to nibble some corners right there. That's why we did it that way. And yeah, the cedar section will be a little bit strange to calculate, but we can also just cut off this extra part here. And I might just go ahead and do that. So that's one less thing for us to worry about. We think would be the easiest way to do that. So I guess I can just go from here to here. Let's say, oh wait, I know how I can do this. We'll just make a surface from here to 1, 2, 3. And then we'll shift into wireframe view, grab that surface, and then we'll that's the wrong polysurface edge that I'm thinking of. Alright, there's got to be a better way to do this. I want to move this from here to here. And then we'll split. We'll go Boolean, split this thing with this. And there we go. That gives us that chunk cut out. So we're just going to commit and say we're doing it. Because this thing's already a little wonky as it is. But at least that gives us that nice clean seat post interface. And we can clean that up from there. So maybe that'll get sculpted down. Maybe that's just going to be an interesting notch. But probably not. It's going to probably get smoothed out. But I'm just going to cut the rest of that off then as it is. So let's extend that line. Alright, looks a little better. Next one. So we need to cut the seat tube. I'm going to mark where that interface angle though is. Seat tube. So now that way I know where the set depth is for the seat tube to essentially run into that. So that way I know that stop point. So the next thing I need to cut with that is going to be We're going to go Boolean split. We're going to cut this with this. That gives us this happy little piece. We're going to throw that up 50. So we can figure out what we're working with here. It's a nice, easy little nibble cut in the corner. So, gotta find our seat tube, which should be the shortest piece. It's this one. So, we'll draw some lines, figure out where we're going. It's 0.96 inches end. Okay. And then I guess we can just, we should do this in hundredths as well. So that's 0.46 inches. It's a pretty small corner nibble, honestly, but if it's what it takes to get everything to fit right, that's what we gotta do. Alright, well, this is a small little corner cut right there. Let's lop that off. And then let's shift that down -50. Just kind of see where that ends up. And it should be pretty simple. I think that that's gonna, so we should measure in to figure out where that alignment point is with this bottom tube. So I'm gonna do that now. So that line is gonna go from here to this intersection point. That's 1.02 inches. So just measuring out over on the floor here. Alright, so we got another part of our frame done. And this is essentially the entire front triangle minus the head tube. There's some angles that are off, for sure. You can see that. But that's pretty direct emulation of what we have started with. You can see where that bottom bracket tube is going to be a little bit challenging probably. But I think with this, I can at least glue this together and hold it, and then that way tomorrow it's a little bit easier to build those rear triangles because that's going to be a little more complicated. So we'll get to that tomorrow. And with that, I think I'm going to sign off. So I'm not going to show you how I'm going to glue everything together. It's going to be a little bit annoying and messy. But thanks if you actually tuned in on this, and hopefully I see you tomorrow. And this will probably encourage me to keep doing this like daily. I've been working on this probably for a while, but it's at a point where like now I can actually be doing the process, and I am really curious to see if people have feedback or if people will start playing with the system themselves. And maybe if you design a bicycle frame and you don't have the means to make it yourself, maybe I can go for it, But yeah, this should be an interesting project, and let me know. Definitely come on the Hackaday through Wallfacer Design. You can search me through just about any social media platform you can think of, and that way you can give some support or just keep updated with whatever products I'm working on. If you have the financial means to do so and you have a project that you want to commission, definitely the Patreon that I just started is gonna hopefully really help things out. I just need some money to like keep working effectively. That's not gonna hold this project up because I have the funding to do it, but the more people that I can get to start engaging with that Patreon, probably the better off I'll be long term, because we'll get to do some really crazy projects. And also I'll hopefully be able to help others bring their kind of dreams and ideas to life. And that can be done privately or publicly. It's kind of up to you. So yeah, check out the Patreon, Wallfacer Design, and look at all the details. That's a little bit of a crazy commitment, and I know it. So that's totally up at your discretion. Obviously, you can always reach out to me and see if there's a collaboration opportunity in some other way. But there you go. This is David Trutchell from Wallfacer Design signing off for the day, and hope you enjoyed.